I'm Cassie.
I'm Tim.
This is Rory. And then Nora is our almost 2-year-old in the other room napping. Hopefully napping.
Should be napping. And we just wanted to kind of share our testimony about some stuff that happened, and maybe someone can relate or help them.
We just wanted to share kind of how God worked in our lives even when we felt like there was no reason or hope. Yeah. Maybe other people can relate. I don't know. 5 months ago, in September of 2019, we had kind of something big happen. Basically, while I was alone with Nora, a man tried to break into our house. I thought I was going to die. I was really scared for my daughter, and I held her down, and I just didn't want her to die. This sounds bad, but I was okay if I died as long as she didn't get hurt. And I'm scared. I'm still scared. It's really hard because every time I see someone who looks like you or hear a really loud noise, I cry and I panic. And that's probably not healthy. Ripped apart. Everything feels, and how I can't go back to our house, and how we don't know where we're gonna end up because we can't go back. There's a lot that goes into that, but the summary of it, like, I hid Nora in the closet and I called the cops, and although he tried to hurt the cops, he ended up going to jail and pending trial and everything, but it messed us up quite a bit. We didn't feel safe at home, especially because we knew he had past charges and possible. We still aren't gonna share all the details, but we just knew that this guy meant business and knows a lot of other people that do too, and we didn't feel safe going home. So we ended up kind of being displaced, I guess is the right word, because we weren't homeless. We did have a home, but we just didn't feel safe going to it. For 5 months, my parents took us in. It sounds like we're little puppies, but
there was an extremely long waiting list for every place to rent in Wilson County.
And buying something takes a long time too. And I don't know if we're not ready for that. We don't think so. Well, we know. Yeah. We signed a lease. So we spent 5 months kind of couch surfing, kind of not having our own safe place. And for a while, I was really, really scared to stay home by myself with Nora, and didn't sleep for a while, actually. I was diagnosed with PTSD, which, I feel like that's normal, but in my head, I'd only really thought about that for, people in the military.
Yeah.
And that's not true. You can have PTSD from literally, anything. For very valid reasons. I'm not saying it's not, but... And I was really just broken and scared. I'm scared of this guy, and the newspapers released our direct address, and I was scared of people he knew maybe coming to our house and finding out who we were, and I called the cops, and they could be mad about that, and I was scared. And how did you feel?
I was scared, really, for them, because I was at work when this happened. I was also very angry. I really wanted to hurt this person that tried to come in and harm my family. And then I was just I wanted to be home 24/7 just in case something was to happen. I could try to protect y'all.
Yeah. I was angry because I was angry about him doing that with our baby there.
Yeah.
but that wasn't my main emotion. I don't think my main emotion was probably like fear and then sadness, because I just felt like, and I was sad for us, but I was also really sad for this guy, because I knew, and that sounds really dumb probably, but like I had a lot of like almost guilt, like maybe I shouldn't have called the cops, like, but I should have, and I did the right thing.
You
But I
did.
had I had guilt though. I was like, man, I made this guy get arrested, but no, I didn't. But a lot of victim guilt, I guess. But fear was definitely my main thing, and yours was probably anger.
Yeah.
We were already Christians and believed in God and had faith and everything. And I am gonna say, like, and this is not right, but I was very. If I was angry, you were angry at the guy who did this, and I was angry at God, because I just felt like, why would you let this happen? Um, like, I'm trying so hard to be who you want me to be. Like, why would you put us in this situation? Um, and I was kind of mad, and I didn't want to go to church or anything, because I was just kind of frustrated. I was like, even if I didn't realize I was frustrated, I was, because I just didn't understand why God would let bad stuff happen when I love Him so much, and I just want to be protected. Um, but being mad at God wasn't right, and like being mad at that guy was a little justified, but it's not right in the end. We gotta let that go. And for me, this whole entire situation taught me that not only did God send Jesus to die for us because He loves us so much, but that when bad stuff happens on earth, it's not God not caring. Um, Bad stuff happens out of sin a lot of times, actually. Bad stuff happens out of sin. Like, it was sin that caused this to happen. It was sin that was my reaction of anger too. I shouldn't have been mad. And instead of thinking that God let something bad happen to our family, I really should have been realizing that this is how broken sin leaves us and leaves the world. Because no matter how much we try, we all sin. And this is literally just like a result of it, is feeling hopeless and abandoned and scared and angry. That's all a result of sin.
Yeah. And really, I just learned to trust God more. I mean, because you think about it, it's like, oh, this was all scary, but it could have been so much worse. But God just protected us, and even now, just still protected. I mean, we're still have issues from everything, but we know He's in control.
That's what we're saying. Like, when bad stuff happens, we can't allow ourselves and allow fear to creep in and say, God let bad stuff happen to us. We have our own choices that God is not happy about. Sin is not something God wants us to choose, but we do choose that every day. And in the end, the only hope we did have was through Him. Like, there is zero way that we could have been protected if it wasn't for Him. Why we're telling this story is because even though something really bad happened to us and we didn't feel like there was a hope or anything or a reason or a plan, God had a better plan for us. We live in a much better place. We are happier.
Yeah, and I mean, really, we rely on God more, which is definitely a good thing.
Relying on our own strength and own security is wrong. It's not going to get you anywhere, because literally our own security and strength is nothing when you're completely terrified and scared and hopeless, that you feel like you're hopeless. And the only security and strength and hope we have in this world is God. God created this world, and even though we chose as humans, not just us, to kind of turn away from Him, He never left us. And even when I felt scared and alone, He was still there. It was just me that wasn't there with Him.
And if you're going through something really, really hard and you just feel down and hopeless and like nothing has a purpose, just please know that God has purpose for your life. God loves you, that you are loved by many other people. You have value, and there's reasons and there's ways to get out of situations. And I just don't want you to feel alone, and I want you to know God's there and to feel strengthened to reach out to not only your family and friends, but if you need to there's multiple counseling services and all kinds of stuff that you could reach out to.
We don't want you to ever feel like God's not there. He's always there, whether you realize it or not, and He loves you, and He has a plan for you, and even though something bad's happening, it He's there.
There's not a lot of options, but there is one option that you have the right to make, and it's God. And I really hope that you make that choice. And I hope you accept what He's already done for you and accept Him and let Him change you.